Hey Oldhammers, Brett from Solo Oldhammer Gaming. Just a little update, and I just thought I'd show you something today. I'm out of hospital. They couldn't put a stent in again, so the blockage is still in there, and I've got to wait to see my specialist. But I'm on a cancellation list to hopefully see him a bit earlier than the 22nd of September. But yeah, what can you do? Out of my control. So just yeah, struggle on. I've got a little bit of time off work now, so that's okay. Um, Enjoying that, getting a bit of painting done, which is good. Nearly finished the Beastman for the next battle report, so I'm happy about that. I've got 25 to go, so the Chaos Hounds are done, the Beast Handler's done, the General's done, the Wizard's done, the Shaman, the Beastman Shaman's done, and 15 of the unit of 20 Beastmen is done, and then I've just got another unit of 20 to go. And then all done, and then we've got another battle report. But I just wanted to give you guys a little update on how I went at the hospital, which was basically the same position I was before I went in. But yeah, what can you do? So yeah, and it's a miserable day today too. Pretty crappy to be quite honest. So I thought I'd make a cup of coffee and show you guys something that's near and dear to my heart. It hasn't just come in the mail on sick leave benefits, so I yeah, no penalty rates, so I haven't ordered anything off of the net for a bit. So yeah, that's a bit of a bummer, but yeah, I've got to talk to Crown of Command too and send him an email because he's very generously offered a couple of more orc archers so I can knock the unit out to a unit of 20 for the archers, so which will be good. And he's only in Queensland too, so that's not very far from where I am in New South Wales, like on the outskirts of Sydney. So they should turn up pretty quick, and yeah, I can get them painted and start looking at do a battle port for that and get the orcs done for a I'll do 1,000 points of orcs to start with, and start collecting dwarves after that. I think so that way I can do like a siege battle. We can put a siege battle on the channel. I haven't seen many siege battles on YouTube. Um, Hopefully it's not extremely boring, and that's why. But yeah, we'll see what happens. But yeah, we could even go through the siege book and yeah, show what it was like there back then. But today, yeah, because it's such a miserable day, I've done a bit of painting, so I'd like to show you guys something that's near and dear to my heart and pretty much got me into the hobby way back in the mists of time in Christmas in 1988. But I'm also doing this little video as well because I downloaded a new app onto my phone and it said that it's good for making movies and stuff, and I can use my AirPads as a microphone. So hopefully, or AirPods or whatever, but hopefully, yeah, the sound will be a lot better when I'm actually facing the camera. So we'll have a go and get back to it. So what was the game? What was the game that introduced me to the hobby and got me so passionate about all things Oldhammer? And it was this one. I still remember it. It was Christmas 1988. We'd just moved down to Emu Plains from Parks, out in the smack bang in the middle of New South Wales, in the middle of bloody nowhere. And yeah, it was school holidays. I hadn't been to school down here yet, so I hadn't made any friends. And the whole holidays was, yeah, just by myself. So pretty much swam, and then I bumped into a magazine called GM at the newsagent, and we didn't have many magazines like that in Parks. and it was all fantasy and board games and things like that. And I thought, wow, I didn't even know this stuff existed. So, and there was an advert for a game, and when I saw that game, I pestered my parents so much for Christmas. And Christmas 1988, there it was. It turned up, and I couldn't believe it. It was like the best Christmas ever. And that game was Blood Bowl, second edition. Now, an unhealthy fascination with the NFL and fantasy, and it all molded into one, into this. And let's have a look at the sides of the box. Now, this is the set that I bought probably about 3 years ago, because my original set, I've still got it, but yeah, it's all been broken apart and yeah, used for countless seasons of Blood Bowl when I was in high school. So that's when I sort of introduced it to my mates, and we formed a league, and there was 20 of us at one stage playing Blood Bowl. Every term was a season. So there's 4 terms in the year. So we had four tournaments. We had the Tin Cup from January to March, I think it was, because it was, yeah, it ran for 4 months, so it might have been April. So yeah, January to April was the Tin Cup, then it was the Dungeon Bowl, then it was the Spike Cup, and then it was the Blood Bowl to finish up before Christmas. And we played that for year 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, and 12. So, but yeah, and after school, everybody drifted off, got jobs. A few of us still play Blood Bowl every now and again. I go in the odd tournament. I play online with the ABBL, but I'm having a break from that at the moment with a heart attack. So, but yeah, that's by the by. I definitely want to get back into that. But let's crack this sucker open. Oh, before we do that, let's have a look at this. The back of the box. Got a heap of stuff back then too. Um, in the advert, this picture was on the advert in the GM magazine, and yeah, instantly fell in love with it. I thought, what? Orcs with gridiron gear? Goblins with gridiron gear? This is amazing. Some of that awesome art again. You just don't see every day now. We come up with a number of rules for this as well, like NFL style rules, and yeah, just to play the game. I might even go through those. Yeah, pretty much the rules of Blood Bowl, but oh, okay, this is a lot harder to open with one hand than what I remembered. Okay, so in here I've got the set originally come with humans. Oh, fun to paint up. Didn't know about Citadel paints back then, so I did my humans with Humbrals. Yeah, Humbrol oil-based paint. Ooh, disaster. Orcs, and these ones are from Dungeon Bowl, but that's one of the dwarves. Still not a bad sculpt, and one of the elves. Yeah, the elves and the dwarves. The elves and the dwarves, they came from um, Dungeon Bowl, which was a set that was put out as a little bit later. Um, no special blocking dice or anything like that in this game. Everything's done with just normal 6-sided dice. Um, my original set, the players came with circular rings to tell you what position they played for the base set. So it was red for blitzers, green for blockers, white for throwers, and yellow for catchers. And lineman was just the grey base. So, and this other set that I got, it had the full coloured bases. instead of just the rings that went on the little tiny bases, as you can see there. So they just snapped over the top. I think I preferred the rings. Yeah, I don't know. Probably because that was the ones that I opened up first. But there's some more of the walls. Oh, wow. Okay. Here's one of the original gouged eye that I painted back in the day. You can see how thick that paint's on. Oh, wow. God. I wish I could talk to 12-year-old me. Mow some lawns, go to Galaxy Bookshop and get some real paint. Practice. That's what I'd say. Yeah, that's some original ones that I painted. I actually painted up the humans as the Bright Crusaders with the split blue and yellow with white stripes. that was a chore. I did that as well for the modern day humans as well. I don't think. Oh yeah, I have. I've painted up my orcs as the Gouge Guy, but yeah, I've done a second. I did a second edition team as the Gouged Eye as well. I definitely want to get another orc team and do them as the Auckland Raiders. Always loved that name, and I like the little orc head that they've got as a symbol on there. Now I went looking for the because you got two books in this box set, and I went looking for them. Just a few minutes down there. I went looking for them, the books. I can't find the bloody rule book as per usual, and I can't find the handbook as per usual. But they are around, and if they're not here, then they're still at my mum and dad's house, probably from the move. So these were the little sprues and stuff that the bases were stuck onto. Get all this stuff out so we can show you guys. That's one of the footballs, and that's some premium 1988. Shit. Okay, that's hit the floor. Thank God it's bright red. wouldn't be finding it if I had red carpet, and I don't, thankfully. That was some Dungeon Bowl. They had actual spiky balls like that, so that was cool. The first set that I got in '88, I remember the balls being blue, so this one of the red ones, red football. This one hasn't got '88 glue tack on it, and weirdly, that's the one that doesn't hit the deck. Now, what else did you get in the set? So you got the handbook and the rule book, which I can't find. You also got these. And you got one for the orcs and one for the humans. And it was basically a stat sheet that you had for each team. Now, the orcs and the human teams were exactly the same. And for those that don't know, so you got four blockers, two blitzers, two throwers, two catchers, and so what's that? 2, 4, 6, 10, 6. So 6 linemen as well. So teams were 16 strong. Unless you had a big guy would count as 2. Unless it was a mummy counted as 3. And yeah, so each team was 16, and off you went. So the characteristics for them been cut down now since, like, for the modern Blood Bowl, but MA was movement. That's how far he could move. Basic stuff. SP was sprint, so he could move that extra amount of squares so long as he didn't go into a tackle zone. ST was strength. AG was agility. TS was throw skill. CL was cool. Throw skill is basically what it says. What it says on the box is how good he can throw a ball. Cool. CL was how good he was at catching it, and AV was armor. And yeah, blockers had armor 10. But see, for this edition, if you were stunned, you were actually taken off the field. But you could run replacements on and everything as well. And yeah, so your catcher had +1 to cool, thrower had +1 throw school. Yeah, your blitzer were your jocks. These guys are yeah, they're the ones that are getting the girls and living it up and getting paid exorbitant amounts of money. Your blockers are your heavy duty guys. They're probably usually surviving on a diet of gunpowder and raw meat. Throwers, bit prissy, prancing around everywhere, just like quarterbacks, I suppose. And catchers, yeah, hard to catch, but once you can catch them, it's a good thing. Once you can catch them, but yeah, it's just catching them that's the problem. Getting hold of them. And lineman is your there was a funny little story in one of the rule books about when they were talking about positions and stuff. They always came back to like your linemen are your seat fillers, and there was a saying about complaining like a lineman. So I always found that a bit funny. I used to love the little tidbits and stuff inside the game. Oh, there's another one from the original set. Yeah, this is sideline template. I've got another one of these around somewhere. But yeah, so if the ball went out, the crowd would throw it back in. Pass template. So you do quick pass, short pass, long pass, and a long bomb. Now these are the end zone markers. Oh, here we go. That's the original. That's my original one. As you can see, it's yellowed a little bit. Now I've probably got other stuff in here that I shouldn't have. Like I've got an extra throw-in template, so that's probably one of the guys from high schools. One that's scatter template. Yeah, we had a Blood Bowl day, and then I was missing one. So yeah, got this set to replace that as well. So, and here's the sideline template. So at the top was how many like touchdowns you'd scored. You could play up to a certain amount, either time or we used to play 2 hours a game. Reserves all stood in there. If they were stunned, they were there, but after a touchdown, automatically come down from stunned. Then there was KO'd. So if they were knocked out, then on a 1 to 3, they'd go to stun. The 4 to 6, they'd go straight to reserve. And injured, that's it, they were out. Unless you were just playing the standard game. If you're playing the standard game where everyone moves 6, then yeah, that was they had a on a 5 or a 6 they could come back, but yeah, not in the veterans rules or whatever they were called when you started using like blitzers and things like that. Now in the end zones on second edition, I loved these, and I spent heaps of time with just pieces of paper trying to make my own for other teams that I saw in the book, like Skate and Blight Scramblers. Who's the halfling team? Greenfield Grass Huggers. So that's the Black Crusaders. They're the ones that I painted up first from the basic human team. Weakland Reavers on the other side. I loved these. Chaos All Stars. That was my team. That was the team that I played, the Chaos All Stars. Yeah, from year 7 to year 12 I was the Chaos All Stars. My mate, he was the Auckland Raiders, and Dwarf Giants were there. There's a Lowdown Rats, the Goblin team. Funnily, nobody ever played those. Yeah, Auckland Raiders. We had another Orc team, and he was the Gouged Eye. Just trying to remember who played what. One of my mates, he was a big Dwarf Giants fan. He played the Giants for the whole time. Champions of Death, Undead team, Darkside Cowboys, and the Elfheim Eagles. Probably get the shine off of that. So yeah, and then also, oh, there's another one. So that must be from my original set. They're a bit mixed up, so Maybe the books are even in the other box. Alright, so hopefully I didn't lose all that footage, but I'll find out eventually. If I did, then yeah, you just won't know about it, but if I didn't, then I got a phone call, and it looks like that with this program, what do people got to call me when I'm trying to do a video? For God's sake, people. So, this is the Astrogrite pitch. Now, this was a huge selling point because it was a field. It was made of Astrogrite, which is losing teams. That was their bones. Well, it's polystyrene, but the other story's heaps better. Now, let's have a look on the side of the box. I do miss this about modern stuff. It's got an advert there for Fantasy Battle, Fantasy Roleplay, Rogue Trader, Mighty Fantasy Battles, King of Editions. Oh, the Astronomicon. I had never ever, the chapter approved book, I'd never ever gotten that book. I never ever saw it on the shelves at Galaxy Bookshop, and Galaxy Bookshop was the place where you got all your Games Workshop stuff in Sydney to start with. Warhammer campaigns, the fantasy, roleplay, Warhammer City. I think that's about Middenheim. I'm not sure. We played a little bit of roleplay back in the day. Power Behind the Throne, Warhammer Siege book, awesome. Now some minis. Some Blood Bowl minis. So there's the Bright Crusaders, very top left human thrower there pointing. Yeah, that's how I never painted a miniature before, and that's how I chose to paint mine. I'm an idiot. Right. Yeah, it was basically like show me the hardest pattern there is, and then I'll give that a go. And yeah, that's how it worked out. Dwarf Kicker. Some really, really nice paint schemes there. Nagaroth Nightmares, the Dark Elf with the red. This one here. Drums Destroyers or Derms Destroyers, I think. Reekland Reaver by the look of it. Auckland Raider. Dwarf Warhammer, Barley Archers, I think they were called. Not sure about the Dark Elf though. But let's see what we've got on here. Oh, nice. Okay, my mate had this. Blood Royal, great game. Played that to absolute death. Curse of the Mummy's Tomb, Talisman, still got it. Had Talisman the Adventure, Talisman Expansion, Talisman Dungeon. I never got the City or Dragons, unfortunately. Fury of Dracula, never played that. Blockmania, yeah, got that. Got the expansion as well, Megamania, I think it's called. Huge Judge Dredd fan. Surprisingly enough, we used to get 2000 AD in parks, but not any like Games Workshop-y stuff. So that was surprising, but yeah, huge love for Judge Dredd when I was a kid. Been reading that from about 1985. I started reading 2000 AD. Chainsaw Warrior, I've never actually played that. Or Chaos Marauders and Dungeon Quest. Great game. Got that. I haven't got any expansions, so yeah, here's some more players. Got Cheerleader or Middenheim Marauders. Another Derms Destroyers. Gladiators. What was their name? Gladrith Gladiators, I think. That looks like a Arctic Ice Wolves, which was a Norse team from the Star Player book. Another Nightmares player. Can't remember what the purple one. Gouged Eye Cheerleader. Awesome paint schemes. And I just love that style of figure. Just the generic, basic gridiron figure. Just love it. So, that was Blood Bowl 2nd edition. Now, I might even have a game tonight and record it just to show you guys what the game was like, basic game out of the box. It won't be with painted figures, so I'll just use the orcs and the humans, I suppose. Just yeah, so you guys can see what the game was like. See how we go, either that or I'll do a bit more painting. But yeah, so that's Blood Bowl second edition, one of my two sets. Yeah, but I got my original sets from when we moved down here to for mowing heaps and heaps and heaps of lawns, like the Star Players book, Companion book, Dungeon Bowl. I had two sets of Dungeon Bowl, so that way we could play the actual Dungeon Bowl for one of the cups in high school. But yeah, mowed a lot of lawns, dealt with a lot of grass, more grass, I suppose, than a pot dealer, you could say. But yeah, other than that, we'll just see if I've lost the footage because of that phone call that came through, and then pop it up online. So yeah, keep climbing the Oldhammer mountain, guys, and stay cool. Stay Oldhammer.